Hello and welcome to this third installment of Ahead Americas 2020, our series of awards that celebrates the best in hospitality experience and design across the globe. I'm Guy Dietrich, Editor-at-Large of Sleeper, and I'm going to take us through the announcement of the winners of our next 4 categories. But first, we're going to hear some insights from our judges in our head-to-head discussion, hosted by Chair of the 2020 Judging Panel, Alia Khan of Marriott International. This section is all about public spaces, and we've called it Pivoting Public Spaces, Where Next for lobbies, bars, restaurants, and event spaces. Over to you, Alia.
Thank you, Guy. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of Ahead. Anne and Gula, I'll let you introduce yourselves. Anne, why don't you go first?
Sure. Anne Wilkinson. I'm a design principal with BAMO in San Francisco. Speaking to you from my home in sunny California.
Hey everyone, I'm Gula. I'm Icelandic architect and designer living in Los Angeles. I have my own company called Gula Jónsdóttir Design and focusing on hospitality. Currently in quarantine in sunny Miami. And this hat keeps going in and out of my background. So thank you for having us. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
And my name is Alia Khan, and I oversee design for the lifestyle brands at Marriott International. So ladies, let's get into it. So, you saw the short list for our lobby spaces, and based on what you saw, what, in your opinions, were the ones that really kind of stood out and why?
For me, the TWA project was so unique. I think that it really spoke to people. It's such an icon, it's just this incredible building that Saarinen designed. I was reading a New York Times article about it, and Michael Kimmelman said that it's mid-century modernism's great tribute to sex, adventure, and the golden age of air travel, which I thought hit it right on the nail on the head. It's just fun. It's a fun project. It has this great swooping curves and this wonderful appeal, and I think people really respond to it.
I also find that a lot of people, when they talk about that particular project, you almost give your age away. I remember the days as a child traveling with my parents where we actually went through that terminal, and I funnily do remember components of it from the experience of air travel. So there's definitely that sort of nostalgic attachment that really triggered something for me in particular.
I think the Proper Hotel in Santa Monica did a really, really good job of that. Natural materials, the plants, the organicness of the style and uniqueness of everything being curated like an art piece. So I thought the Proper in Santa Monica was a super, super well done and artistic space that you could see yourself live in, for example, or hang out with good friends for a while. So it didn't feel sterile in any means. It was super well done. So I was proud of them for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, I find that often in the world of hospitality, and certainly in my world, where we represent brands and brand ideology, like being able to witness that hotel, look at the photos and get into it, like what a joy, right? Your eye moves through all of the details and you think like each item was curated with love and passion and thought. And, I love that sort of emotion in design, that when you walk into a space, you should feel that this is someone's love and someone's passion. I also sort of gravitated to the Shinola Hotel. And I think the thing that I really sort of struck me there was, I love that there's an ideology for that brand that pulls through into the materiality of the hotel without hitting it over the head, by putting logos all over the place or putting the font. But, you get a sense of like what their product is. It's relatable to the retail, but it's not the same as. And I think that was a sort of successful moment for me.
About the Shinola too was the ceiling height for the rooms. I mean, that was super elegant, and the windows and the curtains, the colors. To me, it felt very European in style and decor and the spaciousness. So that's we're all used to designing, building hotels with the height limit. But when you have the luxury of a really tall ceiling, it makes such a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's such a space you want to be in too. It has a good feel to it. I love a dramatic space. I love Rockwell's kind of pow drama,
Mhm.
but I also love Shinola and just like kicking back. And it's just that kind of space you want to hang out in. It feels really good.
Are there sort of ideas that sort of became evident to you, or concepts or things that you even want to flag or talk about or bring notice to, underlying threads that you picked up on, or new approaches even?
For me, I think with COVID, we are craving comfort. But even before that, you hear all this talk about wellness and emotional wellness. And I think that a lot of the hotels you see have this referential nostalgia to them. And for me, it's sort of the design equivalent of comfort food, right? It's like, it's a little modern, but it's a little familiar too. It's not super challenging. And it just makes you feel good. And I think we're craving those spaces that make us feel good, that we emotionally respond to in a positive way.
It was also nice to see a lot of good use of outdoor spaces. And I think as we approach this sort of post-COVID area, people want to be outside in nature, maybe a bit far away from each other. And even like one of the hotels at their main banquet space was outdoors. How lovely is that? So it was nice to see a very good use of landscape design and outdoor spaces.
I love the textural effect too. I think it's very, it sort of speaks to you. You want to touch it. And the proper has that. Just every surface is textural and it's layered and it's rich. And I mean, that's luxury to the nth degree, Gula. I think you're absolutely right.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, and as a guest, it makes you want to come back and try all the seating areas. Some hotels have maybe just one sort of layout, and it doesn't really matter where you sit. But if all the different seating areas are a little bit different experience, depends on how many people you're with, and they're all unique in their own sense. I think that's a nice experience. It's a nice design to do that.
I love that, and it's a perfect segue into my next question. We're in this world right now where all the designers we talk to, including ourselves, are very sort of concerned about this new world order of the plastic barrier and what that's going to represent in our lobbies, and how we separate seating areas. And if you were to sort of take out your dreamer or your crystal ball, what are some of the things that you think you see as potential adaptations to that?
I'm worried that it's going to be ugly at first, like really ugly. And then, maybe as time goes on and things get a little more under control, then we can pull back on some of the barriers and the floor demarcations for 6-foot intervals. And we will be left with the good stuff, like being able to use your iPhone to get into your room or to check in or to order food or what have you. I think it's going to fast track a lot of that technology that is really useful and really helpful. The trend is more of these rich layered spaces, but maybe minimalism will start to look pretty good, and that more sort of pod-like lobby setup where like you say, every seating area is cool. Who cares if they're spaced out a little bit further, and we'll create a look around that. We'll make it work. I don't know. What do you think, Gula?
I'm torn, but I think maybe we can try to make something good out of this and make every experience and every person that you choose to spend your time with sort of precious. So let's say, for example, Japanese restaurants have been doing this for a long time. You can have your own tatami room. You can have your own private room, and maybe it's looking over a beautiful bonsai garden. So what's wrong with that? And talking about glass barriers, I was in Italy once, and I went to the Antinori vineyards, And I still dream of having dinner in this one glass box room that overlooks the whole like making of the wine. It was private and secluded, but it didn't feel to me as a glass box and it had to be isolated, you know. So if we can, through design, make beautiful things with a beautiful view and still keep this sort of a bit of privacy or separation, I think that would be maybe quite good. And back to the Japanese, they seem to have been doing, you know, taking off their shoes and doing this instead of kissing and hugging. The taxi drivers, you don't touch the handle, they open it automatically. I think there's sort of old-fashioned customs that are beautiful that we can start to use again.
I just find David Rockwell's drama, his sense of theater, his sense of kind of set design, so compelling for a restaurant. The cathedral space with that amazing sculpture on the ceiling. I mean, just jaw-dropping, absolutely gorgeous. And the really fun whiskey bottle light display that curves up from the bar in the space down below. I think those are so fun. But, you know, as I said, I also love the Shinola casual, chill. Welcoming, exactly. Apples and oranges, maybe, you know, sometimes you want one, sometimes you want the other. They're both really special.
You know, and you made a good point as you were speaking. When I think about the cathedral project, you know, going back to my previous question about in a world where we have to take the eye away from the non-sexy, non-beautiful, like if you have this beautiful, compelling moment of theater above you, you know, perhaps it takes your eye away from, you know, the slightly less appealing, you know, operational things that we're going to have to go through in the short term. You know, obviously our hope and prayer is not in the long term, but, you know, what's that big money moment where you can move your point of view away so you don't focus on some of the other things in the short term, right? And
it's so true. And that is pure theater. It's
absolutely.
Like, don't pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes here. This is what you look at. And super effective.
You know, I think the thing also, like, you know, if we talk about like the future and we talk about like design trends, and that's, you know, such an open-ended sort of comment, but, you know, in what you saw, were there sort of little threads of things that you like that you as a designer want to explore a little bit more or challenge our community to explore a little bit more?
I actually thought Rain, the Fairmont in Toronto, was really interesting. It combines a lot of different elements. It has these more modern feeling spaces, the private dining, for instance. And then you contrast that with the main dining room that has these scenic panels and this really richly detailed wood paneling. I thought that was an interesting mix. So you get a little of that nostalgia, a little of that emotional resonance, but you also get a little of the Rockwell Group's wow factor. So
I also like that it goes back to something Gula said earlier about, you know, when you have distinctly different experiences, people want to come back for more, right? They want to try every vignette. They want to test it all out. It's not a one-stop shop anymore.
I like to see, because I'm a fan of Herzog de Moron architecture, so I like to see them, that hotel that they worked on with the design of the architecture with Rotate Studio. It was nice to see the collaboration and sort of the architecture that shines through into the interiors with the raw concrete. And I mean, I like that personally. So, you know, I thought it was nice to see some big names of architects that are involved in this year's hotel lineup. So that was fun to see. Beautiful.
Particularly, I think in the context of Washington, D.C., where, you know, historically you're looking at more traditional historic restored architecture, to see that modern day take has been, I think, it's been great for the community. It's been great for the fabric of the city. And it's nice to see that. And, you know, it's always nice to see known entity who you study and admire actually do something in, you know, today's world. You know, so from there, like, let's get into event spaces. You know, we know that the day of the traditional event space, or, you know, that sort of more traditional meeting room kind of environment seems to feel like it's a little bit of a thing of the past. And are there things that you saw that excited you in the event space category, things that you want to see more of, explorations? Like, how did you feel with some of that? Because we had a nice cross section of project types.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a huge variety in the event space category. And the Bode Nashville, I think, speaks very much to the outdoor space that we're talking about. And it had those beautiful alley of trees on either side and the long table. I mean, you could just see having a wedding reception or some kind of celebration there. It just looked so inviting. I really liked how they kind of bridged the hotel Airbnb type experience, and really brought kind of the best of both worlds to that property. I thought that was really lovely. And then just to give a shout out to the Conrad in Washington, D.C., I think that, you know, it was not a unique program perhaps, but I thought they did a really elegant solution and a really beautiful solution to that same hotel problem. You have these big monumental spaces, and how do you make them engaging and interesting and lovely to be in?
And not succumb to the traditional ballroom carpet and the heavy drapery. You know, certainly had a time and place in the past. And you know, there's architecture today that absolutely supports that typology, but it was nice to see that departure for sure. Gula, how did you feel about what you saw?
Well, about the Conrad, I thought it was nice that they then incorporated the warm woods that leads you into the ballroom. And it was a big space, but the use of warm materials, it changes everything. So I think the way they used the curved woods was beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought the TWA was really good as well with the theater and all their public spaces. And I've heard some friends that have been there for, you know, drinks in an airplane setting. So it's a great experience. It's probably a fantastic place to have a party because it has the history, and especially if you want to do a, you know, a costume party or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely liked the Bode, and I think what I liked about it is that it takes a little bravery to move out of traditional expectations. And, you know, I think based on its location and, you know, the sort of psychographic that might use that particular hotel. Ladies, I think we're out of time, so I'm going to say thank you. I cannot wait to bump elbows with you. I'm warning you, they may be real hugs instead of elbows.
I hope so.
Thank you for doing this. And I'm going to take it back to Guy now, who's going to present our next award.
So far, we've already brought you winners in 8 of our categories and heard insight into resort design, adaptive reuse, and with Alia, how the new normal for public spaces might look. It's time now to see some of those fabulous social spaces in hotels across the Americas in our next 4 categories. Please don't forget to spread the word using our social hashtags. @AheadAwards, #AheadAmericas, #GoodTimesAhead. We start part 3 with the award for lobby and public spaces, sponsored by Preciosa. And the contenders are Canopy by Hilton Minneapolis Mill District, Monalani, Hawaii, Santa Monica Proper Hotel, and TWA Hotel at JFK, New York. A tough decision, but the judges said of our winner that every detail in every vignette makes your eyes want to linger. They praised too the incredible vibe created by the selected art. Preciosa's Michael Holly can now reveal the winner.
And the winner is Santa Monica Proper Hotel. Congratulations.
Santa Monica Proper Hotel does it again with a second win after the guest rooms category in part 2 of these awards. Our judges praised the hotel, saying, "This is a spectacular hotel. The lobby and entire ground floor is one powerful stage after another." Kelly Wursler has carefully composed the spaces in a way that stops guests in their tracks to pause and appreciate.
Good evening, everyone. I am Julian, Managing Director at Santa Monica Proper Hotel. We are so honored to receive the prestigious Ahead America's 2020 award in the category Public Area, Lobby and Guest Rooms. This means so much to us. This award naturally goes to Kelly Wursler, who designed the entire place, a team who worked very, very hard to create such a unique atmosphere. We can't be more thankful, and we look forward to welcoming you all to Santa Monica Proper.
Lobby and Public Spaces winner, Santa Monica Proper Hotel. Next up, the restaurant category, sponsored by global founder sponsor Grohe, and here are the 4 appetizing nominations. Cathedral at Moxie NYC East Village. Rain Restaurant at Hotel Fairmont Royal York, Toronto, Canada. San Morello at Shinola Hotel, Detroit. And the Cheyenne Club at the Farm at Brush Creek Ranch, Saratoga. Four very different finalists there for you, but there was a clear winner. For that all-important judge's decision, here's Grohe's Bob Downey.
And the winner is San Morello at Shinola Hotel. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Shinola Hotel and San Morello. The use of natural light, exquisite FF&E selection, bold colors and pattern create a series of spaces that work well during the day through to the night. The identity of the Shinola brand, best known for its watches, is carried through in the thoughtfulness and refined simplicity of the timeless interiors by Gasho Studios.
We are honored and humbled to be a part of this. Thank you so much. We would love to thank the hotel staff who makes the experience every day, our partner Bedrock, NoHo Hospitality, Gasho Studios, Library Street Collective, and all the artisans and craftspeople that helped make this hotel possible. Thank you.
Ahead America's 2020 restaurant winner, San Morello at the Shinola Hotel, Detroit. Now, time to kick back and make yourself comfortable with our next category, bar, club or lounge. It's sponsored by Laufen, and there are 4 city-based contenders for this award. Bar Mary Lou at Maison de la Luz, New Orleans. Evening Bar at Shinola Hotel, Detroit. Little Sister Lounge at Moxie NYC East Village. And the Drawing Room at the Asbury Ocean Club, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Unusual to see a variety of hidden, subterranean or tucked away spaces here rather than the big, brash lobby bars or rooftops. Our judges looked at the broad spectrum of criteria and noted that the winner here offered incredible project coordination. To reveal that winner from Laufen, we welcome Steve Barry.
And the winner is Little Sister Lounge at Moxie, New York City, East Village.
Congratulations to Little Sister Lounge at Moxie, NYC, East Village. The judges highlighted the architectural qualities of the space, the warmth of the furnishings and finishes, and its East Village vibe. One judge described its design as the perfect date. Well done to Rockwell Group.
So exciting to hear the news that Little Sister won this award today. It's a long journey to get to this point, and that's thanks to a lot of people, obviously within Rockwell Group, David Rockwell, Brad Zuger, Alex Gong, Ray Lee, Karwei Lim, Evelyn Choi, and Yulia Frumkin, all part of the team that made this happen. I also want to thank Lightstone and our clients, Lightstone and Tau Group, both, to really giving a lot of the vision to this project.
Congratulations to Little Sister Lounge at Moxie, NYC, East Village, winner of our Bar, Club or Lounge Award. Our final award for Part 3 is Event Spaces. It's sponsored by Lasvet, and there are 4 compelling contenders. Bode, Nashville. Conrad, Washington, D.C. The Farm at Brush Creek Ranch, Saratoga. And TWA Hotel at JFK, New York. A strong shortlist there, each contender creating competition in one of the toughest categories in which to shine. But which wins? Here's Lasvet's Jiri Vasicek.
The winner is Bode Nashville. Congratulations.
Well done to Bode Nashville. Local architectural and interior design studio DAD have taken a backyard vibe and elevated it to high art, said our judges. They appreciated the overall tastefulness and the creation of a flexible approach to common spaces. Event Spaces winner, Bode Nashville. Another 4 worthy winners for you there, and that's Part 3 of Ahead America's 2020 in the bag. Thank you for joining us, and please keep those social conversations going. We'll be back to reveal our final winners, including the Ahead America's Hotel of the Year Award. Until then, ciao for now.